Hello, family members. Hope you're having a good day today. When I was talking to my goddaughter last night and I was telling her I was thinking about making this video, I said, is there anything that you think that I should include? Because, you stay here in the summers with me. You kind of know what my life is like. And she told me to tell you very specifically, tell your viewers I said that your house is like a tourist trap. That was the exact word she told me to use. And in what she means is people come to my house on vacation, have a fun time and enjoy themselves, and then reluctantly have to leave and go back to their real lives. She's not wrong. When there's other people here, it is kind of like that. People come here when they're on vacation. I'll have, like friends or family drop by for a week or two for vacation. My parents are here most of the winter time, snowbirds. Gacy gets to come in the summertime. Um, I that's not necessarily wrong. Like this summer, when my friend was in the middle of trying to get out of her bad living situation, for a few weeks she just was here a lot, and she and her kids kind of just came here and had a good time and enjoyed themselves, and then reluctantly had to leave and go back to their real life. And it's like, it's very interesting, that perspective on it, because to me this place isn't a place of leisure, of vacation. To me it's a very comfortable prison. I It all happened very slowly. See, you don't notice how you're losing things until you've lost them for some time. But I stopped being able to really drive, and I never really wanted to go anywhere. And then eventually I got to where even when I did go somewhere, it was a horrible idea. I always felt awful during the transit process. I have a cousin that I grew up right next door to, and we're pretty close, like in a lot of ways, she's sort of the sister I never had. And I adore her and her mom and her kids, and I haven't seen them since Easter. And it's like the end of September. And they live like an hour and 15 minutes away from me. And even when other people are here to drive me, I haven't been able to see them. And they've been too busy to make it up here, which I understand. My cousin's working and going to school and raising two small children. It's really frustrating. And even then, when I saw them at Easter, my mom was just determined I was going to go. I hadn't been there in months and months. And, she was just determined I was going to go. And so I decided, yeah, I want to see him real bad. I'm going to do it. And I got there, and I was there for like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, I really need to go lay down. And I went and I laid in my aunt's bed and I slept most of the visit. I got like maybe half an hour of time's worth with them. And it was really disappointing for John. He was looking forward to seeing me. And then I was just gone and he didn't know where I went. And that just breaks my heart, I got to the point where I realized that if anyone wants to see me, they've got to come and see me here. And I've made it as amenable as possible for people to visit me. And inadvertently created a tourist trap, and a comfortable prison for myself. And it is exceedingly comfortable. I love my home. Being homebound is a very strange thing because it is a place that I love. But you do get to the point where you resent never being anywhere else, you know? I don't really dream narrative dreams very often. It's usually more like impressions or abstract flashes of things. But one thing I've been dreaming about lately a lot is places. Like really elaborate buildings that are complicated to navigate through. And I find that interesting. I wonder what it is. And they're very vivid dreams. And when I wake up, I feel this sense of stress. Like I need to find my way through that building, and then I realize that it's not real. And it's a kind of a relief, you know? But my day consists of laying here in bed. You know, this is where I make all my videos for a reason. This is where I have to be in order to be anything that's a semblance of comfortable, which is really annoying. And I have flares. So, you know, I have all these pillows around so that I can like support whatever body part's the part that's giving me trouble right now, because it changes day to day, sometimes hour to hour, you know? It's really annoying. And you start losing pieces of yourself, like almost literally. Like my lip ring and my earrings, I stopped being able to wear them. It was just, it was irritating me too much, and I was getting like infections and stuff. And so I had to just be like, no, no, no more of that. I can't wear makeup. With the dry eye, I have to be really careful. I can't wear my contacts anymore. Which, you know, I used to like to wear contacts when I was out and about, like when I was driving, so I could wear sunglasses or whatever. I don't really mind wearing glasses all the time, now that that's not really a thing, but still, you know, it's annoying not to have that choice. I can't wear anything that's tight around my torso or waist or any part of my midsection at all. So I cannot wear bras, which is really annoying. You know, people kind of look at you different when you're wandering around in public braless. Anytime I have to go out in public, you know, like for a doctor's appointment or whatever, I know I feel embarrassed about how I look, you know? Which is maybe another reason why I'm here, you know? Nah, it's not. If it were just embarrassment, I'd get over it. I physically can't sit up to go anywhere in a car. And even if I like lay back in the back of the car, you move around, and that amount of motion is too much physical exertion for me. And so I wake up in the morning and take the dogs out. Usually it's the dogs waking me up. One or the other of them needs to go potty. And then I hang out and I smoke as much weed as I can, because I'm trying to get my belly sorted well enough that I can actually go ahead and eat something, take my meds. And I often don't actually get there to where I feel good enough to eat until like afternoon. But I try to keep it before noon if I can, because I like to feed the dogs and cats after I eat. Because then I get to stay upright, and that helps a lot with my digestion and like burp attacks I get. And so like I can't always make that work, you know. Some days I'm not able to pull that off. But, you know, like we'll try to do that and then feed them after. And I feed the dogs and the cats all at once because it just makes it easier for me. And they're used to that routine, and they do pretty well with it. You know, I kind of just treat them like a pack. When the dogs eat, the cats eat. When the one animal gets a treat, they all get treats. You know, like, and then after that, you know, I might nap. I might just sit around until it's time to start trying to get my belly in shape to eat dinner so I can take meds again, you know? And then in the evening, at some point, usually my mom calls and talks to me for a while. And then when my goddaughter goes to sleep, she calls and talks to me for a little bit. And at some point, I get tired enough that I sleep for however many hours. And then the next day, it all starts over again. Although, you know, there can be variations where, like, I wake up at 4 in the morning and can't go back to sleep for 5 hours or something, you know, like, there's that my body throws weird things in the mix every once in a while, but that's my entire life. I'm not omitting anything. I'm not omitting, like, doing laundry or sweeping or you know, dusting or any of the, like, chores that people normally do, scrubbing the toilet, whatever. Like, in my normal day, there's nothing more than happens than what I just told you, other than maybe, like, me making a YouTube video if I'm up to it. Like, that's it. And not showering, not washing my hair. I I don't, you know, like, I like spot clean myself the best I can, but I'm like too tired to shower. Like, it's too much work. And so, like, I'll, like, clean my face, or then I'll get a warm washcloth and clean my arms off, or clean my legs off, or my belly, or whatever, you know? Like, I never can get, like earlier today, literally, went out of my way because I felt so bad. The dog's nails were too long, and I knew it, and I needed to do it. And so I get out the clipper, and I get through like 2.5 of Casey's toes, and I'm just like, I gotta stop. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna finish this. And I made myself finish that 4th foot. And then Kimmy got all excited, and she wanted hers done too. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I made myself, I only can make it through like a couple of toes, but I got a couple of the worst ones. And then, you know, gave him a treat, and I had to lay down and take a nap like immediately after that. Clipping dogs' toenails. These are very compliant dogs. They didn't struggle or give me any trouble at all. It shouldn't have been like that hard of a task physically, but it took me down. Writing 2.5 pages of like answers on a questionnaire for my disability application, you know, that took me out for like hours. I had to take a nap after that. It's you get so like stuck, and there's no way to change anything, you know? And so that's why, like, my room, if you've ever noticed, I have all these things on the wall and stuff. A lot of that was done before I was so sick, when this was my office and I worked in here. But I've added and filled in places here and there because this is it, you know. I don't get to go out and do the things that I used to like to do, and so I have like representations of those things around me, and I love how it looks, and it makes me smile. But it's also like It's hard, you know, because I was talking with my goddaughter last night about traveling. Um, um, and I was telling her about when my little brother and his, I think at the time, fiance, and my parents and I went to the UK, and we met up with my second brother. You know, it's not biologically my brother, but he lived with us for a while when we were kids, and so he's my brother, uh, who is Zimbabwean and lives in the suburbs of London. And we did a vacation, like a co-vacation with his family and our family. So it was his like fiance and their daughter and like his brothers. I think we had both of his brothers for part of the trip, but not all of the trip. And just like one big family, and we went to Wales. I drove from Hartford to uh, what was it called? Innisloss, Wales, which is just north of Borth and near Aberystwyth. If anybody's heard of those places, it's near Snowdonia. I really loved it. And I was telling Gacy about, you know, the vacation house and what we did and what we saw and how nice it was. And it made me sad to think I'll never see that place again, probably. You know, my parents and I did a brief layover in Iceland after that trip. And ever since, we're like, we got to go back to Iceland. We got to go back to Iceland. I'm never going back to Iceland, you know? I can't even go to Cocoa Beach to see my family. When my second brother's fiance, when her sister, who we know because we've been to see them in England a few times, was here last with her family, I couldn't go see them because they were down at the attractions and had no way to get up here, and I couldn't go. And, you know, the last time that they were here, they had one daughter, and now they have like two school-age daughters. So that's been a while, right? And you get to where your world is shrunk down so small. And I catch myself feeling like it's so scary. I can't imagine doing things, just things, you know, normal things. Like, I can't imagine doing that. And I'm like, whoa, that's not normal, you know? I can feel the agoraphobia like trying to set in, and I'm like, I'm not trying to go there. The only reason that I don't want to leave the house is because of physical pain. It's not because the outside world is scary, okay? The outside world is beautiful and wonderful. I mean, thank goodness for the fact that we have this house that's got a conservation area in the backyard. So I get to look out and see wildlife and trees and flowers and bees and all the fun stuff, right? I have a little teeny tiny taste of nature out my window. It's a lot of the time what I'm looking at when I'm making these videos. I'm looking out the window, looking at my fig tree or my pine tree, palm tree, of course, because it's Florida. Of course, you've got a few palms in in your yard somewhere, right? I don't know how I would do it without the animals. And I could see where it would be easy to become like an animal hoarder too, you know, because you're like, well, I'm here all the time. I could probably take care of another one if they're not that much hassle. Well, you don't want them to get too bunched up. You know, I honestly have one more cat than I intended to have, but, you know, most of my animals sort of end up here because of things that other people decided than more than what I decided, and that's okay because I love my babies and I'm glad I have them all. But I'd be adrift without them. It's you know, it's a lonely life and it's an isolated life. But, you know, I think that it really was a good idea to talk to my goddaughter about it. Because the idea that what I've done with this space, whether I meant to or not, was create a haven for other people to come and relax and be rejuvenated. Well, I got nothing to do but relax as best I can, which is a constant battle, so I can certainly help you with that. You know, if you have mobility, if you have the ability to get out and enjoy the world, treasure that. You know, like, I didn't really realize that I was going to lose it the way that I have. You know, and you'd think that I would have gotten that a little bit better because I had chemo, and before I had cancer, well, when I had cancer, um, I was trying to like deny that I was sick because, you know, when you're aromantic and you're romance repulsed and you're the only person in your household, the only person supporting things, you kind of don't want to disrupt the status quo and think that you're really, really sick, because then what are you going to do? You need your paycheck, right? And so I was trying to pretend like nothing was wrong, and my cousin came down and she was going to Disney World. And I was like,